Hello, everyone. It's Randy here with you, coming to you from my office today. We're tuned in to the state Senate session where it was considered for the new maps under House Bill 1032, which failed in huge fashion. 19 yeas, 31 nays. And I wasn't shocked by the result. Having lived in Indiana all my life and having been represented mainly by Democrats here in Lake County for most of my life, I'm one of the few people in the state of Indiana that's had to live under this Democrat machine. And I think if some senators had that perspective, they might think a little different. But nonetheless, this was not a shocking result to me, having lived here my whole life. I told some folks when I started working on this project back this past summer, that as a lifelong Republican, don't get your hopes up for my party in the state of Indiana to do what we think is the right thing. Because my own history here tells me that the Indiana GOP will always fall just a little bit short of doing the courageous, bold, right thing for the country. We think somehow that our supermajorities here protect us from the overreach of the federal government. And I should remind everyone that right now you're living with the cost of the last Democrat-led government of 2021 and 2022, where we saw inflation spike by 20% during the Biden years. And I know it's fashionable to blame Republicans right now for the cost of living, but I'm old enough to remember the Biden administration and the incredible inflation and cost of living increases that we all experienced during that time. And but today we watched as Republicans in Indiana sided with Frank Mervan and Andre Carson and gave them a vote of confidence and supported them. And congratulations to Frank Mervan and Andre Carson for duping everyone. They're two of the most ineffective members of Congress. Just got a boost from Republicans in Indiana. Unbelievable. It's hard to come up with words in some of these things like this. But we're not done. I'm not going to stop being an outspoken conservative because we took one on the chin today from our own party. Because in Indiana, I've kind of gotten used to this. Again, like I said, where we come up disappointed that our party doesn't play as hard in this arena as our opponents do. Democrats know how to get things done. When they're in power, they will shove shit down your throat just to prove they can do it. And they do it every time. And thank you to Senators Liz Brown, Tyler Johnson, Chris Garton, Mike Gaskell, Senator Mike Young. I mean, holy smokes, what incredible speeches, what awesome courage to stand up there and do what you did. It's very much appreciated by us conservative Republicans here in Indiana. So looking forward to what's next. We've got a great event coming up here in Lake County on January 9th, 7 p.m. in Avalon Manor in Maryville. We have Scott Pressler coming to Lake County. Scott and I connected through this whole redistricting thing, and he's going to be a keynote speaker along with Seth Gruber. And Turning Point USA is participating. We're bringing students in. We're going to ignite the grassroots here in Lake County. We are not going to sit idle and on the sidelines and just let our opponents run roughshod over us. We have to show up hard. We have to let our voices be heard loud and clear. That the conservative movement is not dead in Indiana. That the people that represent us in Indianapolis are not representing the fire and passion that we have as conservatives to get this job done. So stand fast to my fellow conservatives. We are just getting started and we're going to kick some ass. And remember that the Indianapolis cabal that controlled this whole thing, the consultant class that the bills are written for, and most bills that are passed out of the House and Senate in Indianapolis just give law firms and accounting firms millions of dollars worth of work. You know, big government, ineffective government doesn't just belong to the Democrat Party. We've built a monster of a bureaucratic state in Indianapolis, and the only way we can break that up is for the grassroots to get fired up, get involved, run for these offices, run for your local offices. We need candidates in Lake County to challenge these Democrats that have had power for way too long. And if you watch my other videos, you see I point out the nonsense that happens in our county government because nobody cares. They just keep voting for these incompetent people. So let's work together. Let's get together on this. I'm going to be leading the charge. And let's make sure that January 9th at our event here in Lake County, show up. We need your help. We need your voice. We need your energy. We need to show our own party that we are very serious about marrying up republicanism with actual conservatism once again and bringing back some courage to the grand old party, the courage that Abe Lincoln had, the courage that Ronald Reagan had, the courage that Donald Trump has to stand against the fire and stand against the wind. That's what we need your help to do. So don't give up to my fellow conservatives. Let's make this thing happen right now.